Yes, from the voice of hair metal god John Bon Jovi. We are kind of halfway there, aren't we?
Also living on a prayer.
And we are also living on a prayer. And we are live from Floyd's at another beautiful Tuesday afternoon on a Twins Tuesday as we sneak up on the big All-Star game. Man, it was just a year ago that this town was
jumping.
You know,
buzz.
A lot of times it's like, All-Star game, who cares? But when it's in your town, it is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And a lot of fun, too. I mean, really, really exciting time around town. And a lot of fun to go to. I went to a couple different events, and it was a lot of fun.
Brings a lot of star power to town, not just athletics and baseball. It seems like there's rock stars and movie stars and football players.
Speaking of rock stars, cue the distortion. Let's throw it around the horn. First of all, I'm Rusty Gatenby, and then we got next to me.
Hey, Patrick Donnelly here, freelancer extraordinaire.
And Brandon Warren, writer, guy. I don't know what else.
Local legend.
Exactly.
Colin Magnuson. I think my new Twitter handle says it all. Bartender Colin.
See?
That's what I'm known for.
There it is, Bartender Colin. And, last week, we keep saying they got to do better than 500, but we're barely doing, or I should say, they are barely doing better than 500. Right? The Twins?
They split in KC, which, on the surface, you take that. You go on the road and you split with the first place team, but you look at the way those games played out, and man, they had a chance to win all four of them. So that's kind of disappointing, kind of a hidden disappointment there a little bit. They did lose 2 of 3 to the Reds, and that's a bad team. But again, another one. The last game was 1-0 or 2-1. I mean, it was right down to the wire. They're losing close games because they're not hitting enough, and that's the issue. Last night they got 3 home runs when they needed them, and that was enough. But that's all they got.
Yeah, the trouble with that series too is you leave the game in the hands of the Royals bullpen, and nobody wins that battle but the Royals. And so that's a team that if they keep it close and score, scratch a couple runs across, you're not beating that Royals team. There's a reason why they're 13 games over 500. It's not because their starting staff is good. It's not because that offense is good. It's because pitching and relief pitching, specifically in defense, will basically suffocate you, and that's the recipe for success.
Twins walked into Kansas City being one of 2 teams in the Major League Baseball, along with the Yankees, that hadn't had a walk-off win in a 4-game series. They get 2 of them. Like you said, you just had the feeling when you watch those games that once it got into 9th inning, extra innings, tied ball game, you're going, how is this Twins lineup going to score on that Kansas City bullpen? It just wasn't going to happen.
They made good contact against Holland. I actually thought that they had a good approach against him, and they had a couple chances. Davis was ridiculous as usual, but they even did scratch out a hit or 2 against him. But
Davis has the second lowest ERA into July in history, I believe, is how somebody shared with me, like 0.02 or 0.23 or whatever he is at now is the second best ERA through July or into July ever. So I mean, that's what you're up against with that 8th inning guy, and that's before you get to the closer, who's every bit as good raw stuff wise, just hasn't quite had the results. So you just can't compete with that. And their 7th inning guy, Herrera, is an all-star.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're up against 3 basically relief aces in the back end of that bullpen, and there's just not much damage that can be done.
In their game tonight, 7:05, is that right?
Yep. 7:05, Target Field. Kevin Gausman throwing for the Orioles against Kyle Gibson, who's been one of their pleasant surprises on the mound this year. So
starting to strike people out too. I think 8.2 strikeouts per 9 in June, which was he even had 8 strikeouts in all of April. I think it was 9. I think it was 9 strikeouts in all of April.
Sounds about right.
And he averaged that per 9 innings in an entire month. So big growth for him, because if he can make strikeouts and ground balls, he's going to be very successful.
For sure.
Well, let's set the scene here. Once again, we are live at Floyd's. The sun is shining. We've got our bucket of Coors. Bartender Colin, I assume the Coors special is still active?
Yep, absolutely.
Still in the starting lineup for Floyd's?
We still got the dozen wings and a pitcher of beer for $13 during Twins games. So in about an hour and a half here, we'll be starting that up.
Nice.
We got the grilled wings on the patio again this week. Justin, my main man over here that grills the wings for us, actually cooked us up a Twins Tuesday sauce. It's kind of a tangy barbecue buffalo sauce. I tried a little bit of it back in the kitchen before the show. It's fantastic. So anybody out here on the patio, we're going to be doing grilled wings, and I can vouch for them myself. They're one of my favorite specials we do.
Oh, man, they're awesome. I had them for the first time last week, and I'm going to go with the special sauces. I ordered some to go after the show. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. And as we approach the All-Star game, How the Twins? Who they got to show? They got Perkins.
Perkins, yeah.
And Dozier's in the final 5 vote. So I guess that could be topic A since it's on the tongues of most Twins fans.
Because officially he didn't make the cut. It wasn't even close.
Quote, fingers. No, he wasn't even in the top 5, even in the final vote, was he?
And he wasn't added. Wasn't added by the players' vote, wasn't added by manager Ned Yost. So Yost designated him as one of the final 5. Now, my sneaky take on this is that a Twins fan should hope that he doesn't get in, because then Dozier will have that chip on his shoulder against the Royals every time he plays the rest of the year. But I don't know.
Well, he hit that home run, right?
Yeah.
After it became official that, hey, you're not going to be an all-star. Bam!
I don't know how much bigger of a campaign you can make for yourself than going out and hitting a 2-run walk-off home run the day you find out that you're not going to be on the original ballot.
I covered the game last night for the Associated Press, and I asked Dozier about that after the game. I said, if you're launching your Vote Dozier campaign, you couldn't have had a better, stronger opening statement, right? And he just kind of, he downplayed it. And he's like, I don't know about that. I'm just glad the team won, blah, blah, blah. But, he said he's not disappointed. He said he was slightly optimistic this year, looking at the way things were shaking out. But, he thinks it's cool to be in the final 5. And if he doesn't get it, he says he's not going to lose any sleep.
In fact, it sounds like there's an open mic right now in the locker room. He's talking about the all.
Any of this. I don't need this stuff. I don't need you. I don't need anything.
Wasn't that Ken Herbeck in 1984?
Oh, no. That's a rough subject, too.
He's taking it kind of hard, actually, it sounds like.
Very sad.
This ashtray.
He only needs an ashtray. He doesn't need...
Paddle game. The paddle game was coming next. I knew that was coming up soon.
Ditch the Southern drawl for that rant, huh?
Because when it comes to your style.
Wow, okay, well, all right.
So Dozier's up against some pretty stiff odds, getting the final 5, because Moustakas is one of the 5.
Brett Gardner for the Yankees.
You got a Yankee, you got a Royal, you got a Red Sox, and Tiger, right? Betances, or Cespedes. So you've got 4 pretty rabid fan bases.
Cespedes has a ton of appeal nationally, too.
Yes. So I don't think there's any chance he's going to win the final 5 vote. And then you're going to have the guy who's tied for the American League lead in runs scored and second in extra base hits or something like that, sitting at home.
Yeah.
This is the first time in the history of the All-Star game that there's not a Red Sox or Yankee starting. Can you believe that?
That's amazing.
Good.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a bad thing. Nobody's complaining on this side of the table, but at the same time, it's just shocking since it's been going on since, I think, 1937 or 38 or something like that. It's unbelievable that it's come to that. It's taken that long for that to happen.
Yeah, we were talking yesterday about the different kind of machinations of trying to get certain players on the roster and who got in there. And somebody said, well, Brock Holt got in there because they got to have a Red Sox player. And I'm like, those poor Red Sox, you got to get one of them on. How weird is that?
I don't feel that bad about Holt making it though, because he's a guy that can play everywhere, and he's having a really he's doing his best Ben Zobrist impersonation, and everybody knows how he played in the second half, or maybe not everybody knows, but he was not good in the second half. He had a really strong first half, and so it's like, maybe he's a flash in the pan. He's got like a 390 on base percentage. He's kind of doing the jack of all trades thing for a Red Sox team that just kind of flat out sucks.
Yeah.
And so I got no problem with that. Pedroia's been hurt. They've got no pitching whatsoever, and you could maybe send a reliever, but relievers are just darts at the board when it comes to who you're going to pick. So I got no problem with him making. I got no problem with Iglesias. And other people are saying, Iglesias, the shortstop from the Tigers, could have taken a spot from Dozier too. I have no problem with either of those.
I thought you were saying Julio. I'm like, wow.
Enrique actually was more with the times.
Dozier definitely ran into a little bit of a logjam at second base, I believe, in the AL this year. You got guys like Altuve, Kipnis, who's going to be at the very near the top of people's MVP ballot this year, the way he's playing. It's just, you got the kid from, I forget his name, from Toronto.
Devin Travis.
Having a breakout year.
Travis.
And then you got guys like Pedroia, who's, like you said, he's been injured, but he's always going to steal a chunk of the vote.
And Cano, Pedroia and Cano both
still
stink
voting for him
this year in terms of where they should be, but they're going to get votes.
Name recognition.
Kinsler too.
Name recognition is a big part of it. And, Dozier's never played in the postseason, so that's part of it. People just don't know who he is.
There's not a lot of national appeal for him yet. He wasn't a big prospect, 13th round draft pick, $30,000 signing bonus or whatever those things were. So he doesn't have. He's still kind of a pop up. I think people think of him like Devin Travis. It's just, that's somebody that's kind of a flash in the pan. Well,
he's not.
No,
he just needs his own Head and Shoulders commercial. I think he'll be ideal for
obviously,
that. He's got the best flow of any player on that team. It's amazing.
Tell him about your tweet last night, man.
Yes. So I'm watching the post game in slow motion, and he comes around third base, takes the helmet off, and goes through, the walk off rigmarole, whatever.
Yeah.
His hair is perfect under the helmet. It's like, what in the world? How is that even possible?
I think he got it trimmed. I think it's a little shorter.
Yeah,
I mean, you take the helmet off, you're expecting some kind of
Hat hair.
Hat hair. No,
Yeah, helmet
not-
hair.
Perfect.
No,
Between him
perfect.
and Plouffe, it's like a walking Head and Shoulders Army commercial.
Kinda, yeah.
Looking
Kinda.
into that locker room, they both just look the 10-inning game, wearing a hat, wearing a helmet all day.
And then you got Irvin Santana.
Irvin Santana.
Eddie Rosario's
Flo.
got the little special cut, the fancy cut. And you still got Joe Mauer, who actually did a Head and Shoulders
Right.
commercial. So it's
Right.
Closed circuit to the Twins marketing campaign. Let's get these guys in the All-Star game solely off their good looks.
let's go.
That's right.
From the eyeballs up.
Exactly.
That's right.
Well, you mentioned Irvin. He came back. Mr. Santana.
Nice segue there.
And he was smooth.
That used to be Johan Santana's warm-up song.
Was it?
It would play while he would do his warm-up tosses at the Metrodome.
Perfect.
It's a good one. Well, he was solid, right? I mean, they
Oh,
lost. They lost.
The
but-
slider was as advertised. Mm-hmm. And
It
in the
was.
loss, I mean, where was Glenn Perkins in the loss? I mean, that's another thing we should talk about here in a little bit. But Irvin, fantastic. I mean, he looked great. Really good slider, like I said, as advertised. Pitched deep into the game. I think he had 60 pitches through 6 innings or 70 through 7, something like that.
8 strikeouts.
Yeah, a totally different element. I mean, other than Trevor May, who's been sent to the bullpen, which I'm not too happy about either, finally somebody in this Twins rotation can strike somebody out.
As a
Yeah.
swing and miss pitch.
It's a swing and-
legitimate
So
swing
we got
and miss
a
pitch.
we got a text here from Bon Jovi. Will that be the prayer we live on for the second half?
It's a start. It's a
Definitely
start.
is a start.
Well, it's actually got some national attention too. That basically the Twins went out and made a trade deadline type move without trading anybody, just by getting him back after 80 games, and it's a pretty good acquisition if he can be even remotely what he was against Kansas City.
Be interesting to see his first game at Target Field against the Tigers. I think the crowd will embrace him warmly. I think they're ready to see that investment.
They're a lot like the players too. If you can help us, I say us with quotes, if you can help us win, it doesn't matter what you did.
Right.
It's not A-Rod,
Right.
His scandal. What was his scandal?
Stanozolol.
PEDs,
So he took basically a designer drug from like 1994.
which he claimed he didn't know how he got it. I'm shocked. He got it
from
shocked.
Bill Cosby, I'm sure.
Exactly, yeah,
in my,
exactly.
in my drink. Yeah, so it happens. These things happen to Major League Baseball players. So
With lots of money at stake.
I think we've seen enough of these guys go through these situations. I really do think that the turnaround forgiveness time is pretty much become nil. If this guy helps his team win, like Brandon said, if he pitches well, I don't care. Does anybody really care?
Johnny Peralta got a huge contract after his too, because there was no postseason repercussions there, and now the postseason repercussions is like, well, even if he had any idea he was going to sign with the Twins when he was using, he's probably thinking postseason. I mean, Twins in the postseason.
What is the postseason suspension? Is it just this year? He can't pitch in the
Yeah,
postseason?
so or game 163 if there is such a thing, or any one-game playoff scenarios.
That's odd.
Which the Twins entered yesterday's game in a game 163 scenario where they would
Right.
have been
Tied
tied
with
with
the
Baltimore,
Orioles.
incidentally, who came to town. So it does loom if the Twins can live on this prayer long enough to see October baseball. Again, I don't think anybody at this table is really thinking that's ultra likely because of how many teams there are involved. However, it does loom in the Twins' mindsets that they have to prepare for that.
God, they pay these pitchers so much money.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, and then-
absolutely.
Good Lord.
Another
Yeah.
pitcher that got a lot of money in Alaska, since we talked last, undergoing ankle surgery, going to be out minimum 6 to 8 weeks. That's the optimistic side.
I think they'll shut him down.
No Lasto. He no Lasto.
Exactly.
No, it's
Because that's mid-September, unless they're looking at him as we'll build him back up and then he'll take Santana's place in the postseason. I don't know. Seriously, he's done for the year. I would not be surprised. Terry Ryan said yesterday there's no timetable really for his recovery, which is his way of saying we just want to get this guy out of here.
Yeah.
And if there's any way they can find some kind of medical reasoning to eat his contract and get some insurance payout, maybe that's what they're looking into right now. But
He had a spark though, didn't he? There in June.
well, he went 5-1 in May, but
all
or
right.
5-0 maybe in May, whatever it was. But
Something like that.
his ERA was sky high. He was
His FIP was low, though.
was it
Yes.
interesting? Well, he was benefiting, I think, in large part because that was the month that the Twins were hitting, and just happened to be hitting when he was pitching, and that's why pitchers' wins are a deceiving statistic.
They're terrible.
Well, You still got time to come out here and join us at Floyd's. Again, another beautiful Tuesday. We certainly had good luck here with these Twins Tuesdays at the lovely patio at Floyd's. We got 2 buckets of Coors beer, which they happen to be on the Twins Tuesday special. We want to give these beers away, though, so someone just come on up and ask any question. Trust me, you will win a free beer. Rock and roll. And then if you like on the Facebook page, Twins Tuesday, evidently we're going really crazy here at Floyd's, you could win a $100 bar tab. They will pay your bar tab up to $100.
Which should last anywhere from 2 to 3 hours here at Floyd's.
Well,
no, I'm just kidding. That's a huge bar tab here.
Not if you're Patrick. He'll eat that thing up and drink it up in a second.
Do not let Patrick get his name on that tab because
I'm good.
Patrick Disher, that is.
Yeah, Disher.
Oh, okay. That guy.
That
guy who's roaming around.
The other.
Patio's filling up.
It's looking good.
Twins, you can see we got the big screen TVs already locked and loaded there, and the garage doors are open. So you will not miss the Twins game when you come out here to Floyd's.
We have not had a bad weather Tuesday yet, have we?
No.
It's been pretty amazing.
We only had one that had to go inside, and that was it.
We had the first 90-degree day of the year out here, too. That was fantastic.
And the free beer that we weren't supposed to talk about that was flowing.
And nary a place to park, too. That was actually a very festive day.
That was a mess for the infrastructure, but here at Floyd's, it was a blast.
Oh, it was awesome. Speaking of new players to the Twins, there's Sano's back.
Miguel. Batting cleanup tonight.
Yeah.
So how quickly, Buxton, they had Buxton batting ninth, and they were protecting him, and they put him up in the leadoff spot once against John Danks, and then right back to the 9 hole again. So this is his 6th game he's hitting cleanup.
Yeah.
I think that could be a permanent move, provided he doesn't just fall apart. But when he goes up there, he does not do anything other than exude confidence.
His approach is amazing for a young guy.
For a power hitter, too.
Right. 22 years old.
Right. Absolutely.
And I think last night might have been the most encouraging of all because he had the one hit the single, which was an absolute rope shot. If it's anywhere near a gap, it's extra bases. But he took 2 walks.
Yes.
His last 2 bats of the game. The second one, he's down 0-2.
Mm-hmm.
Now anybody who's followed Miguel Sano's career, when he gets down 0-2, you might as well get the K ready out in the outfield because he swings and misses a lot. He works a walk out of 0-2. That could just be
batting coach.
I don't know. It's not what the MO on him's been.
He moves pretty good for a big guy, too. There's so many things about his game that you just don't expect to polish-wise from a kid who everyone said, he's toolsy, he's going to need some time, he's going to need to get used to the big league game. And it's like, man, this looks like a finished product who could have maybe been up a little bit earlier, but he's really, really doing a nice job.
The interesting thing, too, is not only is he taking these borderline pitches, but he's getting the calls.
Yeah.
Is that respect already?
The superstar Joe Mauer strike
There were
zone.
some very close pitches, cutters on the inside half of the plate that he kind of buckled, and you're going, usually the rookie's going to get rang there.
Right. I don't know.
It's a size thing. He's
intimidating. They've stopped giving those calls to Mauer. I don't know if. I'd have to see the stats to back it up, but I think he used to get a lot of pitches that were strikes called balls, and this year I think it's going the other direction on him.
Yeah.
So those are 3 huge positives since last week. What do we still need, though, to have May, the sequel, happen in July?
Well, you need Mauer to keep going on the hot roll he's on.
Okay, we're screwed. So what else do we need?
Well, he's actually, he's been great.
He's been really up and down this year.
He got out of his head, or is he still going to...
Yeah, well, he's been up and down. The good thing is that he's actually had some decent hot streaks. So that's promising. At least you see that it's there.
I think his improvement coincides with me writing the article that he's done.
Sure.
I wrote an article. I think he might be finished, and
we called him out on the Twins Tuesday podcast like 3 weeks ago.
The highly rated Twins Tuesday podcast,
the award-winning Twins Tuesday podcast.
That's right.
I think in the last 3 weeks he's been hitting 380 and slugging, 6 something, and he's got 3 home runs, and he's he's back. He's not just the old Joe. He's actually got a little pop in his bat. So he could be just that he's up and down, and he's on an upswing right now.
He's about a good game away from slugging 400, and that's kind of my magic baseline for him.
Sure.
750, 760 OPS. He's getting close to that, though.
Yep. Mauer, and I think the big elephant in the room still with this team, until they prove otherwise, is going to be the bullpen. There's been a lot of turnover.
They did address that last night, by the way.
Yep.
Very minimally.
Yeah.
How so?
they sent down left-hander Aaron Thompson, who was brilliant in April and most of May, and then hasn't been able to get anybody out
Brutal
since.
sense.
And they called up this left-hander, was it Mickey Rourke? No, what's his name?
The wrestler, yeah.
Timmy O'Rourke. What's his first name?
Ryan O'Rourke.
Ryan O'Rourke. He'll be making his Major League debut whenever they bring him in for the first time.
Lefty specialist.
Complete lefty specialist.
Nukes lefties cannot get righties.
By the way, I would
righties
take
out.
the Mickey Rourke from Diner over the Mickey Rourke from the wrestler.
Yeah, I don't think it's as hard a
course.
comparison.
Just leave your popcorn at home. This guy, his numbers at Rochester look bad because down there they don't necessarily have the luxury of letting him only face left-handers.
He's got a 5.40 ERA.
Yeah, so he faced a lot of righties and he got smoked by him. But when he's facing a lefty, he is death to those guys. So it'll be interesting to see if that translates to the major leagues.
Well, they also made a kind of a de facto move that I know Brandon and I don't really care for.
Nor do I.
The sending May out there. But the truth of the matter is, for the time being, and I really don't think this is going to last. I think that the trend that we have talked about for 3 straight weeks now about Pelfrey is going to continue, and they're going to have no choice. But for the meantime, I thought May looked pretty good out there last night. He had a couple balls hit hard, but he does have out pitches that the changeup looked fantastic last night. I mean, he threw a changeup down the middle of the plate that got waved at.
That struck out the 2-hitter, Paredes.
That was dancing.
The ball that Machado hit, though, I thought that was gone. I thought there's no way that's staying in the
It
park.
didn't look like he hit it any less hard than the
home
moonshot
run.
he led the game off of against Phil Hughes.
A lot of parks that is gone.
Yeah, that thing was just tattooed, but it stayed in the park. And then, so then the runner moved up to second. So he's got to face Paredes, who's a 300 hitter. And then
a lefty, too.
And a lefty. And
changeup guys struggle with lefties.
And Adam Jones, who's an all-star and a 280 hitter and a solid dude, and he got him retired him both.
Also hit a ball about a country mile, about 30 feet foul.
Well, he hit the one that stayed fair and hit the netting, and then he hit the one off May that was
further. That was further, I think.
I think so. It was on the same line, but then it just started veering, and it veered foul by 30 feet
to the Twins' executive offices.
Well, it bounced off the Goose Island pub. Yeah. I'd like to see him rattle Dave St.
We were talking about the Budweiser roof deck seats. We talked about it last week.
Yeah. He almost gave them a souvenir.
For future reference, if you can get an Orioles game in, that's where you want to sit up there because Adam Jones does not get cheated on those swings.
No.
Well, I'm pretty sure. Jones was batting too. In that same at bat, the third base coach kind of stood about halfway between third and home and then angled off towards the dugout because he wanted to give the base runner coming from second a good angle. And so he's kind of standing there with his back sort of to Jones, kind of sideways, and Jones hit a rocket that just cut right in front of him. And you're not far enough back, dude.
No.
You're going to get yourself killed.
He's lucky it wasn't first base coach Wayne Kirby. I think he's a little bit plumper than he was in his playing days. That might have caught him.
Perhaps.
Speaking of balls that are well hit, the catch that Hicks did, that was just a couple days back, right?
That was,
last night.
Magnificent.
Last night, okay. I saw it on the internets.
I mean,
on the Al Gore
that's
channel.
as good a catch as you're going to see in the big leagues.
He had to adjust.
I think.
You kind of squiggle a little bit. It's like, oh, is he gonna? Bam.
My first reaction was that's Willie Mays' 1954 World Series.
Yeah.
And as I saw the replays more and more, I think I was right. I think that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Now, Mays ran longer for it because the Polo Grounds center field was like 480, so he had a lot more room to run. But, Hicks turned and he ran. He looked down and checked the fence, so he saw how much room he had to run. Then he just kept going, and stuck the glove out at the right time.
When I think of that Willie Mays play, the only one I think that's even better is the Jim Edmonds catch in 1996.
Yes.
At, I want to say, Kauffman Stadium.
No,
the Angels.
I thought it was maybe a home game for the Angels, but it could be a Kauffman.
Diving catch over his shoulder
and diving. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I always like to compare those plays. Hicks catches in that mix.
Absolutely.
I think.
The hand-eye coordination is mind-boggling because like Patrick said,
So that wasn't
he
a
lost
fluke.
it.
That's him. He can do that.
He's
looks
a fantastic defender.
almost like any center fielder I've ever seen, so comfortable when he gets near the warning track. A lot of guys, they start stepping on that gravel and they
Denard
panic.
Span used to be that way.
Denard Span was
Go too.
Even that ball that Machado hit, you could see he's going back, and you could see it's like it looked like Hicks was getting ready to jump, like he was gonna have to climb the wall, and at the last second he realized, okay, I know where I am, and just stuck his glove up and snatched it. And it's like, he makes it look easy, but all you have to do is watch Escobar in left field one time to realize how hard that play is to make.
Well, and it makes me wonder too, though, is Hicks just a guy who hasn't had that hard collision with the fence yet? Because I think Gomez and Span were both okay around the fence too, until they both had massive. Gomez hit the wall super hard in Cleveland, was it? I think.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And Span, had his concussion issues and his vertigo issues. So I don't know. Hicks could just be a guy who hasn't yet had something that's going to scare him at the wall. I hope that's not the case. I hope he's going to be a sturdy guy all the way.
So there's a fourth positive. Hicks.
There are a
making
lot
big
of positives
plays
in this team.
So far this week, the only negative is the baseball outfit that Brandon's wearing again. That is a huge negative. You guys chose
just because
the orange shorts and orange
It
socks.
matches what I have to wear tonight, so it'll work.
Knee-high. Is the game tonight in Spooner? No.
No. I'm White Bear tonight, Spooner
Okay.
this weekend. So lots of baseball coming up this week.
Just a White Bear, so you're just going to catch a helicopter after the game.
I was going to say,
Go Zach Greinke
unless you're under
under
the lights and it's a late game. But
7:30, so it's going to be tight.
How's the batting average?
Next subject, please.
Who wants a free beer? One of you people. You got two people here in green. Are you guys left over from St. Patrick's Day? You realize it's July. But you said, hey, you wear green and I'll wear green.
That's a sweet Gwinnett Braves
Yeah, I was
cap.
just going to say, I think he's rocking the
I like that.
J.R. Graham Memorial Gwinnett Braves cap.
like that.
Come on up here, sir. We want to give you a beer. We want to just at least.
he's
all,
got
we,
it.
all we need to do is find out your name. Go over to bartender Colin here.
He's got about 40 ounces of Jamaican
Hooray.
beer in front of him.
I know it's ice cream. Come on, speak right into this microphone. What's your name, sir?
Trevor.
Trevor. And why the matching green? Just happened, you and your lady?
Randomly picked it out.
You got to lead right into that.
Just randomly picked it out today.
Okay.
So what's the story behind the hat?
I'm originally from Georgia, been a huge Braves fan, grew up watching the Braves, and I recently went to the Gwinnett Braves when they moved closer to my grandma's house.
Nice.
Isn't
Last summer.
Tony Schiavone, the former WCW Nitro announcer, like the voice of the Gwinnett Braves, I think? Like some former wrestling announcer is now this big-time announcer for the Braves. Is it the AAA club?
Yep.
Yeah, so I think he's doing that now.
Are you a baseball fan?
Yes,
And do you live here now?
I do.
So we're going to make you be a Twins fan then.
They're my second team,
What? Who's your first team?
the Braves.
Even after 91, even after 91, you can still put up with the Twins.
Yeah.
I rewatched
hear
Game
it every
7
day.
today, just randomly.
Really?
Yeah, just game. It's weird connection. I rewatched Game 7 of the 91 World Series today at work.
Well, since the Twins are your second favorite team, what is your suggestion so we can have another winning streak like we had in May? What needs to be done? We're close, right?
Needs to just probably better bullpen, improve the bullpen around a little bit.
I got to
Not
agree.
say better bullpen, but just improve it a tad bit.
Yeah. How do we do that? What do we need? Who we got to get?
I couldn't tell you.
Jason Grilly.
Jason Grilly, yeah, he's probably. I don't know.
Closer.
I was looking at the Braves today and wondering if they're not a seller yet, though. I don't think. I mean, the Braves are right around 500, and that second wild card spot
They're
is
honestly
right
the
around 500.
same
Bulk
boat as
up
the
their
Twins.
roster so they can build their stadium.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
What brought you up to Minnesota?
My kids.
So now where are you living?
Right, Chaska.
Nice.
Yep.
And the winters are a little different up here than Georgia.
Yeah, they're awful.
In Georgia?
Yeah, no. Yeah. I lived pretty close to the beach for like 7 years, and then
Okay.
I moved up
Cut
here.
his mic.
from there. Yeah.
But at least the people up here know how to drive in the weather. Down there, if there's a half inch of sleet, the whole state shuts down.
Well, a half inch of rain up here, it's the same way.
That's because we got too many transplants. All these transplants screwing it up for us here.
You got that wonderful Jamaican beer. Coors are on special. We'd like to give you a free beer if you don't
All
mind.
right, awesome. Yeah.
Tell us your name again. What's your name?
Trevor.
Trevor. All
Yeah.
right.
Thanks, Trevor.
Thanks, guys.
Go
Cheers.
Twins.
Thank you, Trevor.
So yeah, he's onto it. It's the bullpen, but it's not an easy fix.
Yeah, well, and that's the hard. I feel like that's the hardest trade question to answer because how many people, your lay Twins fans, how many of them know exactly what relief pitcher you want? You know, they're kind of in a way they're a dime a dozen, but at the same time they can be expensive for what they actually do.
Well, the people that they need are generally guys that you don't know. Like I saw somebody kicking around on Twitter last night with Doogie, our
Jason
good friend.
Frazier?
No, worse. Our good friend Darren Wolfson from Channel 5 was getting a fan. Was trying to shoot down a fan who was saying
I
that
know
they
it.
should look into acquiring Aroldis Chapman from the Reds. And why wouldn't that be logical? Why can't they go out and look at Aroldis Chapman? Because the Reds aren't very good. Well, because he throws 105 miles an hour and it would probably cost them half their farm system.
Yeah, exactly.
Just, fans have to be a little more realistic when it comes to what the expectations are.
I've been fending off people. AJ Pierzynski.
I've heard that one a lot
Neftali
today.
Feliz. At least Feliz makes some sense because he was designated for assignment. Same with Jason Frazier from the Rangers. The Rangers
I'd look
kind
at
of, or not the
Feliz.
Rangers. Actually, Frazier was with the Royals. The Royals had designated him. That's probably going to be a guy the Twins actually do take a look at, just because he's 37 years old. They've kind of flirted with him in the past as a free agent.
He's the clone of Tim Stauffer. If they are going to kick the tires on Scott Atchison, for crying out loud, they can at least look at Neftali Feliz.
Well, there's been a lot of rumblings about they've been in trade talks, and nobody knows exactly what they've been speaking about with the Brewers. One of them was Neil Kotz's name got kicked around. Although, is that something that now has expired a little bit with the fact that we brought up O'Rourke? Maybe we
no. I don't think so. I don't think there's any move that they could make minor leagues that from the minors that would shut down the need or prove to them that their needs are met. I think they're just going to continue to have to, as Molitor put it last night, we're just going to shuffle the deck and see if that works. So,
do you think he runs guys out there out of frustration and just showing the brass?
I don't. TK used to. I think
this is what I have.
Yeah.
Get me something different.
Yeah. TK was famous for that in the 90s when they had those really bad years. TK would he'd run a guy out there and get shelled, Scott Klingenbeck or someone, and then
Rich Robertson.
And then he'd walk out, make the slow long walk. He'd go to the bullpen, he'd pull the guy, and then as he was walking off, or he'd turn around and kind of stand at the edge of the mound and look up in Terry Ryan's office and just kind of look, just long enough to know that he was looking at you, Terry, and then he'd go. It was the most passive-aggressive thing ever, and it was beautiful. It was so Minnesotan. I don't think Molitor's like that.
We're going to be moving into a break here. Live music again tonight, though?
Yeah, Steve Blexrud, he just got here. He's definitely one of our favorites around here, plays here very often. We'll maybe get Steve to come chat for a minute right before we get done with the show. It worked out real well with Matt last week. So,
and your deck, I did a little heck. There again, more ladies than dudes on the Floyd's patio, so we got that going.
It's kind of our motto here.
You got these ladies down front here with the mojitos,
and the mojitos look good.
Look at the mojitos, the summer drink. That's right. We're talking about you. You and your mojitos. Cheers.
You know what goes well with the mojito is a Coors Light. Follow it up. Get up here.
And it does the
ladies
wings.
Who would like it does their wigs. If you'd like a free beer, after the commercial, come on up and ask us a question. Mojitos look good, though, don't they?
Fantastic.
All right, so we are live from Floyd's. We're going to be here for about another half hour. If you're out this way, there's still time to head on out to Floyd's. If you've never been to the patio, what a beautiful time to head out to the patio. But we're going to take a quick break, all right? Then we'll be right back. Don't let your computer problems drive you mad. We are MacMen, Minnesota's premier tech consultants and problem solvers for Macs, mobile devices, troubleshooting, training, and much more. No more dragging your computer all over town because we come to you. We love making house calls to your home or small business. MacMen. Call 612-345-8005.
The term foodie can sometimes come across as a tickle pretentious. BT and Lydia are here to demystify the term and reclaim it for the sake of good food. Their weekly podcast brings in fellow foodies and culture creators from the Twin Cities to talk about all things food. Find this duo only on the Alive and Social Network.
Hey everybody, this is comedian Paul Mercurio, and I'm very excited to say that I packed up my podcast, The Paul Mercurio Show, which wasn't my first choice for a name. My first choice was Go Ahead, Touch It, but apparently that didn't test well. Well, I'm taking my podcast and I'm moving it to the Alive and Social Network, which is weird because I'm neither alive nor very social. I've interviewed a few people you might know, like Sir Paul McCartney. Yeah, that guy. He was in a band or something, I'm not sure. Stephen Colbert, Bob Costas, Jay Leno, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kristen Chenoweth, and many, many more. I've won Emmy and Peabody Awards for my work on The Daily Show. I've had my own Comedy Central special, been on HBO, and I'm excited to be part of the new network. The Paul Mercurio Show is available on iTunes, Android, and available at paulmercurio.com. Listen to my show every week. Every week you will get rich. How? I give you a foolproof method to go out and make $100,000 without ever leaving your couch. Okay, that's a lie, but the podcast, it's good.
The Rusty Gatenby Review is the entertaining show about entertainment from movies, music, and more. Award-winning TV guy Rusty Gatenby and his review is the podcast with the biggest cast in entertainment, part of the Alive and Social Network. You can get that Minnesota connection to Hollywood and beyond any time of the day or night simply by clicking on the RustyGatenbyReview.com. That's the RustyGatenbyReview.com, part of the Alive and Social Network.
I'm in my zone, I'm feeling it. Stop blowing my buzz, quit killing it. So buy another round and try to shut us down about an hour ago, but we still in this bitch.
Ooh, language. But we are still in this. We're still in this. No, I'm talking about the kids out here in Floyd.
What kids?
Saw a couple over there. Okay. We are still in this. It's only half over. I know May got us all excited, but it ain't over. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? No, it's not over yet.
Keep rolling.
Yeah, it seems like every week our storyline is we hope they go over 500, and they go about 500 every week.
Yeah.
And so if they can stay in the hunt through, August into September, right?
They're still at 5 over, and it's better than we thought they were going to be.
Absolutely.
When April 1 rolled around.
That'll be enough to hang into the race down the stretch, though, or maybe even get you to the playoffs. 5 overs.
Sure.
What's that? 84 and 78, 83
roughly.
and 79, basically.
Yeah.
4 to 6 over will be enough to get you there at the end of the season.
Right.
Someone have a question here? Oh, I'm being corrected here. Come over to the mic. Hold on. I may have said something wrong. First of all, what is your name, sir?
It's Kurt.
Kurt, where are you from?
Burnsville.
You don't have a question, you have a correction. What is the correction?
I have a technical correction.
Yes, go ahead.
It was actually the Japan that bombed Pearl Harbor, not Germany.
I think you
Germany.
should Google
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
You think
And I could look it up on Wikipedia, too, as a good, reliable source.
Yep. I happen to be friends with Germany on LinkedIn, and would you like a Coors Light?
Sure.
Are you a Twins fan?
I am a Twins fan.
And how's the season been for you as a fan?
A lot better than what I anticipated it was going to be.
Yeah, right? That's what we were just saying.
Which is awesome. A couple things. I don't know if we could use some veteran relievers. That would be awesome. You guys were talking about that a little bit ago.
Yeah.
And my buddy over here wants to know, what your thoughts are on keeping Mauer around for what he's being paid, and right now he's on kind of a kick. He's doing better, but
I think they would trade TC Bear before they trade Mauer.
No, they would trade Mauer if they could find a taker. But that's the issue. It's $23 million a year, and other teams have scouts, so they know that.
Do you think his love-hate is so 50-50 here in town they wouldn't
that's
be an
the other
uproar?
Thing. He's got a no-trade contract and a no-trade clause and a guaranteed contract, so they're kind of stuck. So I guess they're hoping that the fog will clear if that's what it is, or whatever's going on with him, and that he'll at least get back to being. He's never going to be the guy he was in 2009 when he won the MVP. Those days are done.
Right.
But hopefully for the Twins' sake, he can get back to being what he was maybe in 2011, 2012. He was still, or not 2011, but 12 and 13. He had some solid numbers, and he's never going to profile as a power hitting first baseman. He's not going to make you forget Miguel Cabrera, but he may still be able to provide some kind of value to them. That's their hope.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
All right,
thank you.
guys.
And I think we talked a little during the break. Kurt and his friend had a lot of questions about Mauer, and I think it's something that Twins fans, for one thing, they are onto something in that a lot of Twins fans are getting pretty irritated. They feel like the money isn't justified for the way he's playing. And one of the things that they talked about, Kurt, was that is he at least being a leader in the locker room? Is he at least trying to help? Is he a de facto coach in some sense, like we feel like Hunter is? Is there anything to that? I guess Brandon, Patrick, you guys would know more. Is he at least a stabilizing presence in that locker room?
No.
He's never around when the media is available.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say. I think he's just a silent leader. Here's where I come at it is he's the same guy when they're winning or losing. They won a ton of games when he was young and drastically underpaid, and now he's still the same quiet guy when they're struggling and not as good.
Drastically overpaid.
So yeah, I mean for me it's, and if you look at his career, he's been paid about what he's been worth, which is, I guess that's just how it goes. I mean, he doesn't do. He's not a big vocal leader. He's not. Oh, hey guys, let's jump on my back and we're gonna go win this game, because that's exactly what it would sound like. It'd be very forced and very, very folksy.
I do think that his presence in the clubhouse has maybe slowed the leadership potential and growth of guys like Dozier and Plouffe, because when Kadire and Nathan and those other veterans left, I'm guessing the young guys said, oh, well, this guy's making $23 million. He's probably going to be a leader.
Yeah.
So let's sit back and wait for him to lead, and that's just not who Maurer is. So I think there was probably a vacuum in the leadership for a couple of years there. We're really seeing strong signs this year of Dozier and Plouffe both kind of being vibrant, out front guys that the younger players are following, and they could. It's possible that they're just saying, all right, so we know who Joe is, what he is, so we're going to go out and be who we are.
Think about those locker room pillars, though, in the years that the Twins were struggling. Josh Willingham hated talking to the media. Glenn Perkins, really good media guy, but you're not going to talk to the closer if he doesn't get into games that they get just blown out.
Yeah. Right.
Jamie Carroll, again, not much to say. And then Maurer, who's never around. So it was just, I think that Torrey Hunter and his return to the club has flipped that switch that has lit a fire in Brian Dozier, in Trevor Plouffe, and maybe even some of these kids. I think Miguel Sano is a natural leader. I think he's going to be that guy that doesn't really care what anybody else thinks about him, whether he's making $500,000 as his first deal, or when the Twins are paying him $20 million in 5 or 6 years. It does not make any difference to him.
And sometimes what happens in the locker room isn't so much about leadership as it is about chemistry. It's not who everybody looks to or who wants to lead or not. It's, are these guys getting along? Do they feel responsible for each other? Are they buddies on and off the field? There are these guys that feel like they're kind of forced into a situation where they got to play baseball together and then let's go our separate ways. This team is starting to feel again like they actually care about each other, like they actually have interest in each other's stakes in this game.
Is Monroe sitting at his own table in the lunchroom, though? Is he in that?
No, he's one of the guys.
He is one of the guys. All right,
isn't a rah-rah leader. And how many guys that make $20-odd million are rah-rah leaders? There's just not that many rah-rah leader guys in the game.
Yeah, baseball's not a game it's not a sport that responds to rah-rah leadership. It's a sport about being consistent and being patient and not yelling at you to, hey, go out and get some hits, and then you go out and get hits. It doesn't work.
Think about how guys react when they strike out. It's just not breaking stuff every time, or else those guys get weeded out of the league. It's guys that have to keep their cool when things go sour, because that's just how the game works.
But I thought Puckett was a rah-rah type leader.
Yeah, I mean...
And Reggie Jackson, Mr. October.
Puckett just didn't shut up. That was the thing. I mean, the whole myth about get him hop before Game 6 of '91. He said, "Hop on my back, guys," and then he went out and hit the home run to win it. Yeah. He said that before every game. Apparently, that was just who Puck was. So if you say "hop on my back" before every game, then you're going to eventually it's going to stop clock is right twice a day.
Oh, don't tell that. It's a glorious story you're shitting on.
I'm not saying Puck was a bad guy at all. It's just that he.
Well.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying he wasn't.
Well, there is.
I'm just saying that the leadership thing might have been a little bit overblown, because we saw that he was vociferous out there doesn't necessarily mean he was being a leader. It just meant that he liked to talk.
By the way, I did Google it, and evidently the Germans bombed the Alamo. How did I forget that? I will never forget the Alamo, and they bombed the Alamo. So
good thing Pee-wee's bike was in the basement, so it was safe.
Yeah.
So we haven't really scratched the surface much on catching situation. That's been the bee under my bonnet for the last couple of weeks, and that is, we were just talking about chemistry, and one of the names that has been batted around on Twitter I've seen the last couple of days is AJ Pierzynski. Do you want to bring back AJ? And he's got okay numbers for the Braves this year, but as we mentioned earlier, the Braves are kind of on the cusp of the pennant race right now, so they're probably not looking to sell, and they're basically their main starter. I think their backup right now is Ryan Lavarnway, and I don't think they're going to...
Christian Betancourt is their guy. He's a defense-first guy that can't hit.
Right, and AJ seems like a bit of a desperation move at this point. For one thing, it's
that's what it would have been if they got
rental.
If they had signed him when he spurned them to go to the Red Sox, he would have been a desperation play. He would have been the Torrey Hunter move a year earlier.
Instead, they got Suzuki, and that turned out
for 1 year. For 1 year, it looked like it was a fantastic deal. I mean, he over exceeded expectations last year.
We got our guy coming up, a new guy coming up
again. My name's Ron.
Yeah,
right,
lean
Ron,
into the
what's
mic there, Ron.
My name's Ron. I live in Burnsville.
Did you ride your Harley here?
Yes, we did.
You got a Harley Davidson shirt on?
Yes, I do.
Did you park in the Amish-only parking?
Yes, I did.
You will get a huge fine for that, but go on.
It doesn't matter. I have a
He
Harley.
might be Amish. You don't know.
Question we got
not
to ask
observant.
is coaches.
Yeah.
Is Molitor the same as Gardy as a coach? Do you think he's going to be a standout coach, or you think he's going to just sit back and not do anything? Or you think how is he? Is it the same coaching system we had for the last 10 years? I mean, where we?
That's a really good question. From what we can see, I mean, the media is only and fans only are able to see certain amounts of things. So we don't really know what's going on behind the scenes with the coaches, but you got to think that they shuffled the deck on personalities with almost all of them. I mean, almost all these guys. The only holdover was Joe Vavra. Bruno, that's right. And Bruno's only here for a year, though, so I guess I don't consider him a Gardy guy as much. But Vavra's the only guy from the core Gardy staff that's remained. And to me, it's going to be, again, kind of a chemistry thing, is how these personalities are going to mix with each other and the players. And I'll tell you, Eddie Guardado, the guys love him. Last night when they sent Aaron Thompson down, Guardado was there talking with Thompson for about 5 to 10 minutes after the game. Neil Allen, the pitching coach, was sitting at Thompson's locker for a good 15 minutes just doing a one-on-one talk with him. Just not necessarily needed that Thompson needed to have his spirits lifted, but just kind of telling him, here's what you need to work on. We believe in you, and it's that kind of one-on-one involvement that you'd have to feel optimistic about as a Twins fan that the staff is going to do it.
But if you look at all of our coaches, if you look at all the coaches we had for the Vikings, we had them all, and we had for the Timberwolves. They're all laid back, don't really stand out, don't really have that.
What about that firecracker Bud Grant? Come on.
Yeah, well, we need more Bud Grants. I mean, that's what we're saying about our whole athletic league in Minnesota. I mean, it's kind of nothing.
Don't you miss Denny Green?
Zimmer's kind of like that, though.
Yeah.
I think Zimmer's kind of crazy.
Molitor, we don't know if you listen to his news conference, he's just not, uppity. He's just kind of laid down flat.
He's very intelligent. He's very intelligent. I'm very prepared. And I think that's his angle is preparation.
Thanks, Ron.
Studying.
Grab a beer, Ron.
Ready.
You get a beer if you ask a question. You're good to go. All right. Okay.
I think one thing that I definitely have noticed as a change from Molitor staff, or from Gardenhires to Molitor, I definitely feel like Neil Allen's approach is different.
Way different.
And I feel like he's resonated with these pitchers a lot more. The results have come and gone a little bit this year, but I've been very impressed with him. I feel like he offers a little bit more. I felt like Rick Anderson got a little too obsessed with the pitch to contact, we don't ever walk anybody idea. There's definitely something to that, but at the same time, we say it every week. If you can't make somebody swing and miss, it's really going to be hard to have success with a pitching staff over the course of 162 games.
And that's more of an organizational philosophy than anything else, but that comes from the top down. The guys at Class A and AA aren't the ones formulating the organizational philosophy. It's the general manager and the manager and the pitching coach. So, you can blame it on Anderson there.
More people filing in here to Floyd. It's a beautiful afternoon. The Twins start at 7:05. Brandon, if we don't have tickets to the Twins, but we'd like to see you play, what time does your game start and where's
7:30 at Polar Lakes Park, 35E and County Road 96 in White Bear Township. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you're bored,
we're going.
then
We're going.
You need a few laughs.
We need.
We got a bus.
We got to get the Floyd's taxi
bus,
shuttle just to get us up. That's going to be a long drive. So you got to take off right now.
Yes, got to bid you all adieu, but it's been a great week.
Well, guess what? We're going to have our musical guest take over your microphone. So hopefully
live up to my standards.
Hopefully there's not a lot of butt sweat on that chair. But good luck swinging.
Probably plenty.
Good luck swinging the bat tonight.
We shall all bid you adieu then if we're going to listen to music, right?
Well, let's talk to the guy. Let's meet him for a second. Because is it every Thursday bartender, Colin, that you got music going?
Every day of the week in the summertime, Monday through Sunday, we'll have starting at different times on Mondays through Thursdays. It'll be 6:30, and we got Steve Blexrud sitting down. I grab him
Patrick, before you leave, how can people get a hold of you and
check in with me on the Twitter at at Donnelly612, and we're starting to do a little blogging on the Twins Tuesday website. So I believe it's twinstuesday.com, but I don't know. I have to ask Mr. Dishler about that. I think it's twinstuesday.com, though.
Very cool.
So start to see my thoughts there.
And what was your blog today, then?
I didn't blog today. I blogged last week about Sano and his first couple of at-bats and making his Major League debut.
Our hopes are high for him. All right. Well,
absolutely.
Have fun. Good luck.
Thanks, Patrick.
Thank you.
All right. So I see a gentleman with a guitar. He must be the musician. What's your name, sir?
Hey, my name is Steve Blexrud.
And, Steve, have you played here before?
Yes, I play here every so often solo. I also have a band called Thunderheads in town. We also play here, full band and a duo setup also. So depending on the size of the room or the event, we can play solo, duo, or full band.
What kind of music?
We do a variety of rock, blues, and folk.
Rock, blues, and folk. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so...
You know, we came in with some Bon Jovi. I don't know if you heard that.
I didn't, no.
Because the Twins are kind of living on a prayer. So.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't it. Hold on. That was the Eagles. You got to like the Eagles, right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
So, you're familiar with this song, right?
Oh, yeah.
So there's a band, before you get going, I know we're trying to get you tweaked out here technically, there's a band called Beef Seeds that I found on the internet, and I don't know if you're familiar with them.
I am not.
Here's what they can do with a song. This is the same song. Stand-up bass. What's the smaller guitar? Not a ukulele.
Not a banjo.
Not a banjo.
Once upon a time, not so long ago.
I'll think of it.
Tommy used to work on the docks. The union's been on strike. He's down on his luck.
What do you think?
That's pretty cool. I like it.
Little foot stomping version.
Yeah.
Rip it off. Take a.
Yeah.
I'm giving it to you.
I don't have any guitar coming through, but
She's working for the man.
We're getting you.
We're getting there now. Yep. What have you got for us today, Steve?
Well, I could play a song, a little tune I put together. This is called...
Yeah, give him more guitar.
This is a little tune called Hurry Up Blues.
All right.
Let me know when you're all ready.
You know what? We're going to let you take us out, and we want to thank everyone for tuning in to Twins Tuesday, and you're going to be here for how long?
I'll be here till 9:30.
So plenty of time to come down to Floyd's of Victoria and enjoy another beautiful summer night. Take it away.
Thank you. In the morning, get out of my bed, grab some coffee just to clear my head, crack an egg, check out the news. The next thing I know, it's 1:45. And then I get it. I get the hurry up blues. The other day, was checking my mail. 50 people trying to tell me their tale. I can't reply. What can I do? There's 10 more items on my big to-do. Then I get it. I get the hurry up blues. Hurry up, no time to lose. Hurry up, I got the hurry up blues. Hurry up, no time to lose. You can live the crazy life if you choose. That's not for me. I hate the hurry up blues. Getting sick of all the stuff that makes a day not long enough. It throws a wrench into the works. Then there's the careless morons and selfish jerks. I don't want to be one too. I hate the hurry up blues. Hurry up, no time to lose. Hurry up, I got the hurry up blues. Hurry up, no time to lose. You you can live the crazy life if you choose. That's not for me. I hate the hurry up blues. Oh, I hate the hurry up blues. Yeah. Thank you.